Good evening, I'm Dennis Ward. Welcome to APTN National News. Family and supporters held a candlelight vigil for Natanis Merasty near the Alberta Legislature Thursday night in Edmonton. 24-year-old Morassi from Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation in Saskatchewan was reported missing on May 5th. She was visiting friends in Edmonton. Her car was later located in Saskatchewan about a week later. Her aunt told APTN that the family has not given up hope and is working with the Edmonton police to find her.
They're trying. I know they're trying. And we understand that it does take time. It would help if that somebody out there that knows something that to come forward, talk to the police, phone that number. Let us know, let them know. We'll find her.
November is Runaway Prevention Month, and we have exclusive statistics from the Missing Children's Network on the disappearance of Indigenous children in the country. Here's a special report by Stephanie Desev.
Moi, j'ai eu un appel pas longtemps après par les enquêteurs pour nous informer, nous confirmer la bonne nouvelle que la jeune fille avait été retrouvée.
On October 27th, a 13-year-old girl from Val d'Or was reported missing. On the same day, the Quebec police asked for the public for help in locating her. This is the kind of good news that Patrick Bergeron of the Missing Children's Network wants to hear. He's been the bridge between police and the families of missing children since 2013.
Nous, on travaille dans les dossiers de fugue, dans les dossiers d'enlèvement par parent et ce qu'on appelle les enlèvements criminels, les enlèvements non parentaux. Chaque dossier est différent.
The missing girl from Val d'Or is Indigenous. Her disappearance is not an isolated case.
Nous, on commence à avoir de plus en plus de dossiers qui sont reliés à des jeunes autochtones.
Exclusively for APTN National News, statistics on missing Indigenous children. Executive Director Mélanie Aubu shares the numbers.
Au Canada, en 2024, on parle d'à peu près un peu plus de 32 000 disparitions de jeunes. Et sur ces 32 000-là, il y a 23 % qui sont des jeunes autochtones. C'est un très grand pourcentage pour une seule communauté au Canada.
The disappearance of Indigenous youth unfortunately affects one gender more than the other.
Puis sur ce 23 %-là, il y a 67 % qui sont des filles.
The numbers for 2022 and 2023 are similar. 27% in 2022 and 23% of missing children or teenagers were Indigenous. The disparity between girls and boys remains. The reasons behind these numbers remain to be explored. These numbers give food for thought. That being said, when the disappearance of a child from a community is reported, Patrick's approach is modulated.
Historiquement, il y a des problèmes. Il y a eu un manque de confiance avec les communautés autochtones, avec les autorités policières ou d'autres instances gouvernementales.
If families feel they are not being heard, Patrick will speak to investigators on their behalf.
Mon rôle à moi à ce moment-là, c'est de communiquer avec les enquêteurs, voir où en est le dossier, qu'est-ce qui a été fait dans le dossier et comment est-ce qu'on peut améliorer cette communication-là pour que la famille se sente écoutée, épaulée et prise au sérieux.
For the families whose child is still missing, the support years later remains.
Ils vont nous appeler quand il y a un moment, une journée que ça va pas bien, puis des fois c'est plus dur de parler à leur entourage, surtout après plusieurs années, mais nous on est toujours là.
There are two cases of Indigenous girls who are still active in the Missing Children's Network, Shannon Alexander and Maisie Ojik. The two best friends disappeared together in September of 2008. There are Algonquin teenagers from Kitigan-Zibi, Quebec, north of Ottawa.
Tout de suite, on a embarqué pour développer les avis de recherche, assurer qu'on peut l'envoyer à les endroits ciblés, offrir un soutien et conseiller la famille aussi, puis offrir les ressources nécessaires pour les aider à retrouver.
Their disappearance had a profound impact on the employees of Enfants Retour, who are still in contact with Maisie's family.
On a fait la marche du 5e anniversaire, la marche du 10e anniversaire avec la famille aussi. Et on a participé au vieillissement de photos des jeunes femmes.
For the organization's 40th anniversary, A wish for answers in the story of Shannon and Maisie is in order.
Peut-être qu'il y a quelqu'un qui connaisse quelque chose puis ils n'ont juste pas eu la chance ou sont pas sûrs, mais peut-être c'est le petit casse-tête, le petit morceau pour nous aider à terminer la casse-tête.
Stéphanie Desèvres, APTN National News, Montréal.
A deadline is fast approaching for the Government of Canada to present a national long-term reform plan for the child welfare system. The Canadian Human Rights Tribunal wants that plan presented on December 22nd. A commission of chiefs established by the AFN to negotiate a new deal in the aftermath of a failed $47.8 billion proposal. It has so far failed to get a meeting with Indigenous Services Minister Mandy Galmasti. The National Children's Chiefs Commission, or NCC, is also trying to secure roughly $9 million in federal funding for negotiations on child welfare reform. NDP MP Lori Idlut called on Galmasti to meet with the NCCC.
The government has legal obligations to First Nations children, but the minister has stopped doing the work. This inaction is costing children their lives. The National Children's Chief Commission is being ignored. The Liberals would rather pay lawyers to fight with First Nations children. Will the minister commit to permanently stop discriminating against First Nations children, or will she continue to make lawyers rich?
And the Honourable Minister of Indigenous Services.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First Nations children need to be guided by self-determination, and that is the pull that we are using to proceed with this work. I have on multiple occasions met with many people looking to serve and bring forward solutions for Indigenous children in community, and I think this is what I invite my colleague to do with me, is to find that path forward and respond to the urgency that is needed in this file for solutions that will deliver the proper care for children surrounded by their family, in community, in their own language, by those that care for them the most. Thank you.
Time for a quick break, and then we'll bring you the latest on that bear attack in British Columbia. Stay with us. Welcome back. A grizzly bear attack in northwest British Columbia has shaken the small community of Bella Coola. Several people, mostly children, were attacked by the grizzly bear as they walked near their school. 4 are critically injured, with a male teacher taking the brunt of the attack. Officials are warning residents in the area, and they're being asked to shelter in place until the bear can be located. And the Nunavut Nation are providing rides to anyone who needs to travel in the area.
We hold deep gratitude for the bravery shown by those who acted quickly to protect others. I want to recognize the teachers who took great risk to protect their students. We know that this is a distressing time for the Nunavut Nation. The Nunavut Nation has shown remarkable leadership and care for their community. They're providing supports, food, and smudging at the youth center for anyone who needs it.
This weekend, Métis Nation Saskatchewan is holding its fall Métis National Legislative Assembly. The agenda includes discussions on the nation's response to the federal budget and MNS's socio-economic impact. Video journalist Rachel May met with MNS officials ahead of this weekend's meetings.
We're very grateful for the Indigenous streams of funding, particularly in the new funding areas such as infrastructure.
Finance Minister for MNS Marg Friesen spoke about the successes and ongoing concerns within the recent federal budget ahead of the Métis Nation Legislative Assembly. With $10 billion set aside for Indigenous involvement in major projects, $3 billion for Canada Infrastructure Bank investments, and $2.8 billion for urban, rural, and northern Indigenous housing strategies, there is plenty of potential benefit. But Friesen says there is still a significant gap.
However, there's no Métis distinct or Métis specific stream for funding. We have to compete with our First Nations relations and our Inuit relations for the same dollars.
She adds that funding requires proposals, and without multi-year agreements, long-term support is not guaranteed. Another major topic is the new socioeconomic report carried out by MNP. The report looked at fiscal years 2017-2018 to 2023-2024 and found that for every $1 spent by MNS, $2 goes back into Saskatchewan's economy. President Glenn McCallum says the data shows that the nation is moving in the right direction.
The biggest takeaway that you can get from the Métis Nation is taxpayers' dollars. And the importance of those taxpayers' dollars doing the things that we need to do for our people. And it has shown a lot of good results and good outcomes in regards to what we've done. But we've got to continue telling that story.
He says he will keep working towards building a stronger nation for Métis citizens in Saskatchewan.
So at the end of the day, individuals win, communities win, big cities win, provinces win, and Canada wins.
The fall MNLA can be live streamed on the MNS website or attended in person at Prairieland Park in Saskatoon from November 22nd to 23rd. Rachel May, APTN National News, Saskatoon.
Nunavut's government leadership was sworn in last night following the first sitting of the 7th Legislative Assembly. Here's Justin Hardy with more.
The swearing-in of Nunavut's new government leadership was held following the first sitting of the 7th Legislative Assembly. During that meeting, each of the MLAs sworn in earlier in the day had the opportunity to give thanks and address the House as representatives of this government for the first time.
Mr. Speaker, I did not put my name forward for cabinet as the voters of Cambridge Bay wanted an MLA to sit on this side of the House to be able to ask the government representatives tough and credible questions. This is what I will be doing during the 7th Assembly.
After that sitting was concluded, the Assembly was summoned back to the House to allow the swearing-in of the Executive Council, starting with Premier John Mayne, who spoke of working together during his first speech as Premier.
Let us help us by collaboration so we can put forth what needs to be done. And if we don't do our job or have sidetracked, we will be accountable.
The ceremony also revealed the new cabinet's roles. Each ministry was assigned by the Premier and announced as each new cabinet member was sworn in. Along with the Premier's seat, John Mayne will be serving as the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Executive and Intergovernmental Affairs. George Hicks has been named Deputy Premier, Minister of Justice, and Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure Nunavut. David Akerak was assigned Government House Leader, Minister of Education, and the Minister responsible for Nunavut Arctic College. Janet Bisirak-Brewster will serve as Health Minister. Gwen Healy-Akerak is the new Minister of Family Services and the Minister responsible for the Killick Energy Corporation. Brian Kunu has been assigned Minister of Environment and Minister of Culture and Heritage. Cecile Nilvana Lyle is the Minister responsible for the Nunavut Housing Corporation. Craig Samailak was named Minister of Community Services, and Annie Tatwini will serve as the Minister of Human Resources. Mayne says that each assignment was carefully considered.
You're looking at members' strengths, their educational background, their work experience, and also what they're interested in. So there is an aspect of consultation to the process of assigning portfolios. Looking at the team, I'm so excited. We have such a strong cabinet.
The next sitting of the Legislative Assembly will not be held until the new year. Justin Hardy, APTN National News, Iqaluit.
Yesterday was the annual International Transgender Day of Remembrance, or TDOR. It's a day to reflect on trans and gender diverse people who've lost their lives due to anti-trans violence. Canada is witnessing an increase in anti-trans sentiment, according to the 2S LGBTQ advocacy organization eGale. eGale points to transphobic government policies around healthcare and freedom of expression for trans youth in school as part of the issue. They say recent legislation in provinces like Alberta and Saskatchewan put trans people at greater risk for violence and suicide. Cookham Gail Pruden spoke at TDOR, at the TDOR event in Winnipeg. She says despite the discrimination transgender and two-spirit people still face today, she is happy to see so many societal changes that her community fought for.
We couldn't turn to the police. We couldn't turn to the ambulance. All they did was laugh at us, mock us, make fun of us, and they were able to get away with it. And we had no human rights. But today, at the age I'm at, seeing how lifted the two-spirit is, almost getting back to the place where we once belonged, where we once were, instead of being swept under the rug. It's so beautiful to see across Canada, seeing so many of these two-spirit organizations finally being recognized, finally being loved, finally leading their own people, leading them in a good way, always loving, always caring, always helping. I love seeing that. We didn't have that.
Still to come here tonight, we'll take you to the Vancouver Indigenous Fashion Week. Stick around. Welcome back. Time now for our photo of the day. And with little to no snow in southern Manitoba just yet, Andy Mojeski shared this forest of poplar trees that he regularly enjoys while walking the dog near St. Anne, Manitoba. Thanks, Andy. Remember to send your pictures to share@aptn.ca for the chance to be featured as our next photo of the day. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Starting on the East Coast, sunny and 5 for Fredericton, showers and 8 for Halifax. -3 with snow in Kuujjuaq, flurries and +1 for Nain. Sun's out and +3 for Montreal, 2 below in Val-d'Or. 3 above in Sault Ste. Marie, 1 in North Bay, 2 in Ottawa. Cloudy and 2 for Thunder Bay, 0 in Sioux Lookout. In northern Manitoba, 0 for God's Lake, +1 in Norway House. 5 above under sunny skies in Winnipeg, 4 in Dauphin. 0 for Regina, -2 in Saskatoon. +1 for Meadow Lake and Stony Rapids. In northern Alberta, sunny and +2 for High Level and Fort Chipewyan. 5 above in Edmonton, +12 for Lethbridge. 9 with showers in Vancouver, sunny and 8 for Kamloops. 3 in Prince George, sun's out and +2 for Smithers. -12 in Old Crow and Beaver Creek, 6 below in Whitehorse. -6 in Yellowknife, 7 below for Norman Wells. -11 in Sax Harbor and Colville Lake. -2 in Chesterfield and Arviette. -17 in Resolute, 2 below with snow in Iqaluit. Vancouver Indigenous Fashion Week opened Wednesday night, and as APTN's Tina House tells us, organizers are saying the event is an empowering experience.
The 2025 Vancouver Indigenous Fashion Week kicked off with the Red Dress Night in honor of murdered and missing women and girls, choreographed by Madeline McCallum. The powerful tribute was meant to raise further awareness of the crisis of MMIWG in Canada. Mandy Campbell was the MC for the evening and says everyone felt the emotions of the opening number.
I cried. I was bawling my eyes out behind the stage, and then our crew all surrounded me and they're all holding me and we're all supporting each other in this moment because we all feel the same, that we all have such a huge passion to bring awareness, to bring that light to this dark part of our country. It's a national crisis and we need to do every single thing we can. And not only do we need to find our people, but we need to empower our young people.
And the rest of the night was all about empowerment, as Indigenous designers showcased their unique designs over 4 days at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre, including Yolanda Skelton, who says her latest collection was inspired by wind and the ancestors.
It makes me very emotional, actually. When I walked out, I was watching on the monitor behind, I was seeing them, and I was feeling it, and I was looking at them, and I was like so inspired, because as I was making each piece, I thought about each of my models and who would fit it the best. And then when I saw them walk it, I was so proud. I was so proud of all of those young people because they brought to life my work.
And for first-time designer Maynard Johnny Jr., who's already an accomplished artist, he was inspired to make a collection dedicated to men.
It's hard to find men's fashion, let alone Indigenous men's fashion, so I felt there was a need for it, and that's kind of what got me rolling on this.
Movie icon Tantu Cardinal was part of this year's Fashion Week, walking for Leslie Hampton. She says the event is making a huge impact, and she's glad to be a part of it.
Each model that comes out, they bring a different air to it, you know? And they're celebrating the clothes that they're wearing, and overall they're celebrating the designer and the designers celebrating who they are and where they come from. You know, it's really an amazing thing.
And for VIFW General Manager Caroline Phelps, VIFW is getting bigger and better every year.
I'm a residential day school survivor, so my passion for art and the revitalization of our culture is really important to my heart.
With over 23 designers showcasing over 4 days and over 100 Indigenous models, Vancouver Indigenous Fashion Week has taken over Vancouver. Tina House, APTN National News, Vancouver.
Thanks, Tina. It's Friday, and that means we have a brand new preview of what's coming up on this evening's edition of Nouvelle Nationale. Kim Sullivan from Montreal joins us now.
Hey there. Well, we have exclusive numbers from the Missing Children's Network after a number of Indigenous children have gone missing from our communities. Many found, thank goodness. But the stats do show disparities that we will share with you tonight. We also speak about the Ombudsman's report on the implementation of the calls to action of the VIA Commission, and one of our own, the one and only Florent Vallant, intronized in the Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame. Join us for all of that tonight, 6:30 Eastern.
Good stuff. Thanks so much, Kim. You can catch Kim in about a minute and a half from now. That's all the time we have for your APTN National News for this Friday. You can join us right here tomorrow night at the exact same time for APTN National News Weekend. Or for news anytime, visit our website, aptnnews.ca. I'm Dennis Ward. Marcy Miigwech. Thanks for being with us. Have a great night.